What's going on, YouTube family? It's your man Pristine, back with another video, back with another unboxing. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I have before me the Lenovo Z5 Pro. This video is entitled The Lenovo Z5 Pro Unboxed, the Genius Behind the Deceit, Part 2. Alright, now before I go any further, real quick, I just want to say something to all the cats that follow me locally, follow my channel, who know that I'm a diehard Philadelphia Eagle fan. I know you guys are going to see the Seahawk hat on, and you're going to be in my comment box or on Facebook running off at the trap. Oh man, Pristine, man, his Eagles ain't doing too well. Now he jumping on the Seahawks bandwagon. And you know, he's a fair weather Eagle fan. He ain't no real Eagle. Let me tell you something. It's the Philadelphia Eagles all day, every day, until the day I die, until the casket drops. The Seahawks are my number 2 team. I live in Seattle, Washington. The Seahawks are my hometown team, and so yes, I support them. But they the side piece. Alright? They number 2. Philadelphia will always and forever be my number 1. Word up to my man Jay Will and all the other Eagle fans out there. Eagle Nation, stand up. Go Eagles, go Hawks. Alright? Haters, shut your mouths. Alright? Shut it up. Now that that's out the way, Z5 Pro, the Genius Behind the Deceit, Part 2. Now, the reason why I'm choosing to entitle this video, The Genius Behind the Deceit, Part 2, those of you that watched the first video that I did on the Lenovo Z5, which was about maybe 5.5, close to 6 months ago, I'll drop a link in the description for that video if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. One of the main reasons why I wanted to feature that phone on the channel wasn't just because it was a good device, because it surely was, but it had a whole lot of controversy swirling around it. Here's why. Let's take a trip down memory lane real quick. Now, Lenovo's mobile division, the team and the CEO over the mobile division, just flat out lied. What they did was, the renders in the dimensions for the Z5 Pro here, they attached those renders in dimensions to the original the Z5 that came out some months ago. Now, why did they do this? This was in time where all these phones are coming out that had a notch, you know, trendy thing. The Essential phone did it first. Apple followed suit with their rendition of the notch, and then it seemed as though all the other OEMs and manufacturers released their phones who also had a notch. And so that was what was trending. So everybody and their mamas was making phones with notches. Okay, now what that did for us is left us wondering, well, what's going to be the next wave? Okay, we see all these phones that have notch designs, but what clever and innovative ways are companies going to think of to do away with that notch, give us consumers a full screen display, and do something innovative and different with the front-facing camera along with the front-facing sensors? Okay, now, I'm sure that Lenovo had to know that this was on the minds of a lot of us cell phone consumers and cell phone geeks and enthusiasts that are curious to know what the next move is going to be. And then they had the Lenovo Z5, which was a good phone, but yet it was another notch option. Okay, I don't really think they realized or knew exactly how to market that phone, because let's face it, Lenovo makes up a very small fraction of the smartphone industry. Not big enough of a fraction for people to actually care about Lenovo products. Lenovo has made some phones before, and to my understanding, they were just kind of like, you know, just kind of meh, not really a big deal, nothing really to write home about. Not saying that they were bad devices, but they certainly weren't the type of devices that people were running to the stores, clamoring to get them within their grasp. Okay, then Lenovo, they acquired Motorola, so that kind of helped their notoriety a little bit in the mobile world, because a lot of what Motorola's doing, well, they've got Lenovo's name attached to them. But see, Lenovo, they want to make a splash in the mobile industry on their own without another big name incorporated with them like Motorola. Motorola can stand on its own because they've been around forever. Lenovo is mainly known for and claim to fame for computers, 2-in-1 computers, laptops, desktops, you know, making motherboards and chips and stuff like that. So now don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. Lenovo is huge, but they want to have their hands in different things understandably so. They want to get into the smartphone game. And so in order to get people to care about the Lenovo Z5 in an era or at a time frame where all these other companies that were way bigger than them were making all these phones that had these notches, I kind of feel as though if they just would have released the Lenovo Z5, it probably just would have got swept under the carpet, been another notch option that nobody really cared about. So what they did was they took the dimensions of the Z5 Pro here and said that it was going to be on the Lenovo Z5. They said we were going to have a 95.5% screen to body ratio, no notch, you know, and there's a new and innovative way with the front facing camera and the sensors and this Samsung made display and just all these other features and functions, when in actuality, when the phone was unveiled and a lot of people were pissed off, again, it was another notch option, 6.2-inch display, 19:9 aspect ratio, again, beautifully constructed phone, had a really nice screen, really nice features, Snapdragon 36 processor, 6 gigs of RAM, Type-C connection with fast charging, really good cameras on the front and back that really took some good still shots and video footage, and the phone was only being charged at $229.99. Now that was the genius, because a lot of phones at that time with these specs could easily run anywhere between $400 and $500. So even though they lied to us to captivate our attention, to create a buzz for this particular device, when they unveiled the price, then people were like, well damn, even though they lied to us, this is still a really good deal for this particular spec set. And it flew off of store shelves. I was lucky I was able to get mine online, because even all the online retailers that were selling this phone, it was just selling left and right like hotcakes. So now my question is, now that they released the Z5 Pro, which actually does have the renders that they lied and said that the initial Z5 has, are people going to care about this? Are people just going to be like, oh, well, you know, they lied to us once and it you know, they told us one thing, and when they unveiled the device, it wasn't what they told us it was going to be. But now that this is out and this is actually the phone that they were referring to when they leaked all that information, is that going to make people want to run to this device? It's like, okay, well, they lied to us before, but now that phone that they initially were talking about, well, it's out now. So now we got to go run and get it. You know, things that make me go, Did Lenovo, with that lie, did they hurt their chances of selling this phone? Or are people going to flock to it? Now, another thing to remember, this phone is a slider phone. If you're not sure what a slider phone is, stay tuned to the unboxing and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There are only 2 other phones out there like it in this particular class. That's the Honor Magic 2 and the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3. Now, those phones, people are talking about those phones. Ain't nobody really talking about the Lenovo Z5 Pro here. And one of the main reasons why I felt compelled to get it is because, why not? I mean, I reviewed the Z5 and I thought that it was a good phone. So when I heard that the Pro was coming out and I saw what it was, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's what the first phone should have been according to how Lenovo was marketing and all the lies and stuff. It was this phone that they were talking about. So now that it's here, how's it gonna do? Let's unbox this thing, and you guys let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it, all right? Let's crack this box. All right, y'all, let's get underway with this unboxing. All right, now, first off, you guys already know I always like to drop the specs real quick, you know, just so that we know exactly what we're dealing with. So I'll start this off, one of the most important specs being the price. Now, this phone is $399.99, and I'll drop a link in the description. I bought it on AliExpress. I couldn't seem to find this phone on any of the other mobile shopping platforms. It's not on Amazon. It's not on eBay. Well, I just saw somebody has it on eBay right now, but they're selling it for like $500. GearBest, I couldn't find it on GearBest. AliExpress.com was the only site that I was able to find this device on. And like I said, this device is not being sold here in the US. It's only released over in China, Hong Kong, and Japan and stuff like that. I believe Japan. But it could just be the China and Hong Kong area if I'm not mistaken. I mean, so yeah. So definitely just be mindful. If you do want to get your hands on this device, make doubly sure that it works with the antenna bands in your area, wherever you may be in the world. Okay. Price for this phone, $349.99. And even though they lied to us the first time around with the Lenovo Z5, that was what made that device so compelling given the specs. They sold that phone starting off with the specs that it was housing at $229.99, which was a great price. Now, we have other sliding phones like this. This is what this phone is. This phone is a slider phone. If you don't know what that is, then stay tuned for the video. You're going to see it once I get this phone cracked out of the box. But the only other two sliding phones that are out there right now are the Honor Magic 2 and the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3. Okay? Those cost significantly more than the Z5 right here. Okay? The Z5, $349.99, and then of course, you know, since I got it from GearBest, it's coming from Hong Kong, you know, there's taxes, but then I also paid an additional $38 through DHL just to make sure that I got it in a timely fashion, because typically when you order these things, depending on where you are, I know where I am, they said that I'm going to get it anywhere between 29 and 42 days, and I'm very impatient. I don't like paying for stuff and waiting for it. It was a challenge for me to wait a month to get this phone. I ordered this phone a month ago. and I'm finally getting it. So that was painful. There were several nights where I was this close to canceling the phone because I'm like, you know what, I can take that money and I can use it to buy some other devices and feature here on the channel. But I really wanted to get my hands on the Z5 Pro, especially considering that I featured the Z5 here on the channel. So here we go. All right. $349.99 is the asking price. Now here's the specs. 6.39 inch Samsung made Super AMOLED display. We've got a 1080 by 2340 pixel 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. We've got a PPI pixel density of 403. Okay, now the guts, you know, the internal specs, what's underneath the hood. We got the brand new Snapdragon 710 processor. That's another reason why I want to get my hands on this device, because this is my first phone that is housing the Snapdragon 710. It's a mid-range processor, but it's a more higher-end mid-range processor. Okay, so look to get excellent performance out of this Z5 Pro. Snapdragon 710 processor, 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage. Now, unfortunately, the storage is non-expandable, so you can get this in 2 GB versions. You can get it in 64 gigs, or you can get it in 128 gigs. Okay, those are the only two options that you've got. So make sure that you choose what you need, because there is no memory expansion. All right, but we do have a dual SIM slot. Dual nano SIMs this phone will take. I mean, so that's good for all you travelers, or if you got 2 phone lines and you just don't want to carry 2 phones, but you want to have 2 numbers on you, then you can put 2 nano SIMs in this device. Okay, so be mindful of that. This phone is GSM unlocked now, so also remember that. It can only be used with the likes of AT&T, T-Mobile, Cricket Wireless, Metro PCS, and any other GSM carrier. This phone would not work with CDMA carriers such as Sprint, Verizon, Virgin Mobile, Boost Mobile, US Cellular, and any other CDMA carrier that's out there. So be mindful of that, okay? We have a Adreno GPU, a 616. We're running ZUI 10 on top of Android 8.1 Oreo. And I'm not sure if this phone is going to get an update to Android 9 Pie. If so, I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be. But Oreo, I'm fine with that. Okay? I'm totally fine with that. And we do also have an octa-core 2.2 CPU in this bad boy. I mean, so I expect performance is going to be fast and buttery smooth on this device. Now, we have a 4-camera setup here on the Z5 Pro. We got 2 cameras in the back, 2 in the front. All right. Now, the main camera sensor on the rear is a 16 megapixel primary and a 24 megapixel secondary. Okay. Now, swinging around to the front, we've got a 16 megapixel primary selfie camera and another 8 megapixel second lens for depth and AI information. So this camera is AI enabled, which here in 2018, I mean, that's a standard thing nowadays. All right. Now, the battery life, we've got a 3,350 milliamp hour non-removable battery. We do have 2.0 Type-C with quick charge capability. Okay. Now, some other notable features that we have with this device, we've got Bluetooth 5.0. We do have NFC on board now. On the Z5, we did not have NFC, but we do have NFC here on the Z5 Pro. We do have infrared Face ID, comparable to what you find on the iPhone. Okay, so that's good there. Infrared Face ID. we do have an in-display fingerprint sensor, ladies and gentlemen. So there is no fingerprint buttons on the back or on the front of this device. This device is all screen. Lenovo is claiming that this phone is 95.5% screen to body ratio. So that little lie that they told us about the original Z5 that came out about 4.5, maybe 5 months ago, those renders that got leaked, those were the renders for this particular phone. Those were the dimensions for this phone. And so it's almost as though the Z5, they just kind of had sitting there, but they weren't exactly sure how to market it to capture people's attention. I think they were already working on this before, or maybe they were working on this and the Z5 at the same time, but knew that they were going to release this later, but then use the specs and the dimensions from this to market and advertise the Z5, which was just a complete lie. You know what I mean? But it still ended up being a hit because it was a really good mid-range price, especially for the mid-range device, especially given the price point. So, in-dash fingerprint display, Dolby Atmos stereo sound. We do have dual speakers on this bad boy. So there is a speaker in the ear receiver, and then there's a bottom firing speaker. Okay, so that's good. Now there is no headphone jack. So all of you that like to plug in, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But the saga continues on headphone jacks getting exiled and X'd out the game. All right? You're going to have to carry a dongle, an added accessory. I'm sorry. I'm just relaying the info. I ain't working with the manufacturer, so don't be mad at me. All right? Go wireless. You know? Wireless is the way. Hopefully they'll put a dongle in the box. I'm hoping that it's not a separate accessory that people will have to go and buy. All right, so I hope that Lenovo did their due diligence on that one and made sure that the dongle was in the box. There is no 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. All right, and that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. So now let's take a look at the presentation. I'm recording the video here with the LG V40. Got the wide angle view going on here. Now check out this presentation, man. Check out this box. This phone is boxed up on boss status. All right. So you take a look around the box. Take a look around the back. Got your Lenovo information there, IEMI information, serial number, all that stuff. Little Lenovo brand right there. And then the rest of the information is written in Chinese. Now, there is a Chinese and an English version. I know that on the Z5, it did not come with the Google Play Store, and so I'm thinking that well, I was under the impression that that was also going to be the case here for the Z5 Pro, because on the Z5 I had to download the Google Play Store APK. Now I've already taken this phone out of the box. When I got it, I wasn't able to make the video right then and there when I got it. And so, of course, me being impatient, I cracked the phone out of the box and played with it a little bit. And to my surprise, the Google Play Store was installed on the device already. So I did not have to download the Google Play Store APK. Okay, so that was a sigh of relief. Downloading the Play Store APK is not really a big deal, but it's like, you know, when you get a new device, you just want to make sure that all that stuff is on there. Okay, so now, the presentation on this phone, boss. Check this out. Boom. You slide it out. Left side, you got your accessories and things. Right side, here's the phone. If I can get it out. Wait, how am I going to get this out? Okay, hold up. All right, my bad, y'all. I had to pry out the box real quick because I'd already taken off the little plastic that has the little lift thing up so you can easily lift it out. But here, ladies and gentlemen, is the device. And when I lift this up, you're going to see that screen pop on. Look at that. Look at that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is 95.5% screen to body ratio. Okay, now let's put the phone aside real quick. Let's go ahead and place that face down right there. Now, what else we get in the box here? Okay, so this is going to be our Type-C to 3.5 dongle, along with our charging cable, USB to Type-C. Okay, now here, this is just the wall adapter. Okay, there's that. Not exactly sure what the wattage is on this wall adapter, but again, it does support fast charge. And so definitely going to be testing to see exactly how fast this phone charges up. Now here, this is going to be our typical books and stuff. It's in there real fancy, so I don't want to tear anything. Look at that SIM ejection pin tool. That's a pretty fancy tool. Okay. SIM ejection tool right there. All right. And then we've got Lenovo. I think that's like a quick start guide or some warranty information or something like that. Z5 Pro. You already know. File that to the side. All right. And then Lenovo, they also included a screen protector that is not tempered glass. It's one of the plastic ones. Okay, so yeah, good to see that there's a screen protector in the case. Now, the company, I'm not sure who decided to include this, but I noticed that this was in the box. And so this is a tempered glass screen protector, and it says SH, the world's best real tempered glass protector. I'm pretty sure all these companies are claiming themselves to be the world's best. You know, but I'm not entirely sure because I've never heard of this company, but it says specially formulated epoxy silicone base adhesive. I guess that little Chinese writing says Lenovo, then it says Z5 Pro, light penetration ratio 97%. And obviously this, if you do put a tempered glass on this phone, you want to make sure that it's going to be comparable, or not necessarily comparable, but the type of tempered glass that's not going to interfere with your fingerprint sensor, because we do have the in-display fingerprint sensor. And so I know that if you put a screen protector on it, depending on what type of protector you put on it, you know, your fingerprint may not be able to be read through tempered glass. And so make sure that you read the fine print if you get one of these phones. And if you put a case on the front of it, make sure that it's, well, I'm sure companies aren't going to make a screen protector that's not going to be compatible with the in-dash fingerprint display. But you never know. I don't want you guys out there wasting your money. I didn't buy this. This just came in the package, so I'm not going to complain about it. Am I going to use it? I typically only put my phones in cases and not screen protectors because I don't drop my phones. Now, surprisingly, there is no case in the box, and I thought that there was going to be a case in the box with this device, but sadly there is not. And so if you want to protect your investment, which definitely this is something you want to do because that phone is all glass, you're gonna have to order third party. And so I looked on Amazon yesterday and looked at the options for the cases, and they weren't any cases that I would rock. So for the time being, this phone is gonna be rocked bucket naked. All right. That's just what it is until, you know, we get some third-party support here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Lenovo Z5 Pro, and it's one of those things where when you lift it up, the screen comes on. Here is our in-dash fingerprint display. I'll play with all that in a second. But again, as Lenovo is claiming, 95.5 screen-to-body ratio. All right. Now, when I tell you that this phone is a slider phone, this is what I mean. You slide it down, and that's what accesses the front-facing camera, the LED light notification, and the ear receiver. And like I said, this ear receiver also doubles as one of the speakers. And so you got the speaker system, the speaker sound that's coming out of the speaker, and then you have another bottom firing speaker here on the bottom of the device. This device, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to because that slider feature is a little different. When you place a phone call, it's going to prompt you to slide the phone down because, again, that's the ear receiver. You can't talk on the device just with it like this. Okay? You have to slide the phone down in order to be able to talk on the phone. All right? Phone calls, I've made some calls. It sounds crystal clear. I've got my AT&T SIM card in here. And let's see really quickly. You see that in-dash fingerprint sensor working. I'll go ahead and turn off my Wi-Fi. And let's see if I can get the camera focused there. And you see 4G, if you can see that. All right. And then you'll see right there, AT&T. Okay, so in my area, AT&T, and I'm in Seattle, Washington, AT&T is the best service that I can get out of all the service carriers, out of all the GSM carriers that are in my particular area. So good thing for me, I have a line with AT&T just for stuff like that. And it's the same thing with my Xiaomi Pocophone or any Xiaomi device that I get. It always seems to work best with AT&T. Now, let's go over the phone's dimensions really quickly. Again, 6.39 inches corner to corner. Okay, nothing on the display, nothing. To the right of the device, we have nothing but the power and the sleep button. At the top of the device, we've got a noise canceling microphone right there, and then we have the SIM tray, and this is where we can house 2 nano SIMs. To the left of the device, we've got nothing but the volume rocker up and down. Bottom of the device, we've got 2 noise canceling microphones. We've got the Type-C port right there for charging, and then here is our bottom firing speaker, and that is the second speaker. Okay, to the back of the device, we've got a little Lenovo branding, dual tone LED flash, and here is our dual camera system setup. Primary 16 megapixel, secondary 24 megapixel. All right, now we get into the display. Again, in-dash fingerprint sensor. Now this is new for me. This is my first device that I've owned that has an in-dash fingerprint display, and it was kind of shaky setting this thing up. You know, it wasn't really all that intuitive, and it was a bit of a process trying to get this thing set up. I mean, because you really have to leave your thumb on the screen before you remove it. I'm so used to just kind of tap, 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 and then it just reads your thumb information until it's done. Well, this, you really have to like put your thumb on it and kind of move your thumb around in weird positions and then remove your thumb and then put it back on it. It was a little bit of a process. But then I even see that you can double tap to turn on the screen. And you see that you have to press your thumb on it. And sometimes it opens faster than other times. So it's just a matter of just making sure that you get that right angle on it. And it has to be in that particular spot where the fingerprint is. And so I know that some devices that have that feature, you know, as long as you touch, you can, like, say from that point down, you can just touch the display and it will open the phone. Well, that's not the reality with the Z5 Pro. So where the little fingerprint sensor is right there, that's where you have to touch. Okay, and then it opens up. Okay, but as you can see, we don't have any fingerprint sensors or anything on the device, and so it's either that or you have to have the phone slid down in order to do the facial recognition, which I have not set that up yet, but I plan to. But for now, I just want to, you know, just cover the basics. But this phone does have the infrared facial recognition, which I think is a really nice feature to have. And then, you know, if you want to go old school, then, you know, you do have the ability to, you know, opt to enter in a PIN code or a password or something like that if you want to use one of those methods to unlock your device. Okay, now again, Android 8.1 Oreo, fresh out the box. Slide down, that's going to bring you to all your quick toggles. And if you do have any notifications, then this is where you're going to see those notifications. All right, swipe to the left, and this brings you the rest of your quick toggles, and these can be customized however you want them to be. Okay, so you can move them around and customize them and have them in the order that you would like. Okay, swipe back up, that gets back to the home screen. Now, if you take your finger and pinch the screen, whoa, what was that? Oh, well, I like completely changed my, okay, no. I want that back up there. Wow, that was weird. That never happened. Okay, so if you pinch the display, then that's going to bring you to some settings, and you can see you can change your wallpaper, widgets, and settings. I was kind of disappointed because I thought that I would be able to change my transition effect, and this is normally where you're able to do that. But if you go into settings, you don't see that. I mean, so it just gives us the option to change the desktop layout. Right now it's at 5.6 or 5.5. You can change it to 5.6 or 4.5, and this just gives you the ability to control the amount of apps or how many rows that you can put on the home screen. I like it to be at 5.5, so I just keep it there. Now the left one screen, that is a screen that's kind of like Google Now. And so what that is if you scroll hard to the right, then it just brings up just a lot of information that you want. So we got daily steps, fast payment. As I mentioned, this phone does have NFC, and it comes with a payment application. And so you can use that if you want to find popular apps and then start contacts. And you can edit it, and you can just add a bunch of stuff to your liking, you know, just so that you can get information that you want, all by swiping to the right. Now, I find that interesting at the top. Good morning, my master. You see that? That's interesting that the phone, well, I mean, I guess we are the masters of these devices, I guess, since we're, you know, the one using them. But I thought that was interesting how they put that up there. But then swipe back to the right, and this gets you to your home screen. Now, as I mentioned, Snapdragon 710 processor, 6 gigs of RAM, no lag or stutter at all whatsoever. Okay. And let's go ahead and get my Wi-Fi cut back on. And let's open up some applications. Okay, so Bible app. And now I'm just getting some notifications coming in. So here's the Bible app here. And we do have the ability to have the navigation keys down there at the bottom, but you can turn that off, and I'll show you where to turn that off in the settings, because, you know, this way you're able to take full advantage of that 19.5:9 aspect ratio. And I think that that's really cool. So here, let's open up Spotify real quick. And again, this always takes a second just because it's a huge file. But as you can see, just scrolling through Spotify with no problems. Okay, SoundCloud. Okay. You see that? Scrolling through with no issues at all whatsoever. Let's go to YouTube. Okay. Uh-oh. Marquez just posted something. The problem with YouTube rewind. Posted that a couple hours ago. I'm gonna check you out, Kez. All right. But as you can see, scrolling through YouTube with absolutely no problems, no lag at all whatsoever. Take it to my Best Buy app. Do a little bit of shopping here. Okay. Get out of that. Go to Amazon. Okay. This pops right open right there as it loads up all the stuff. A lot of holiday advertisements since Christmas is right around the corner. Okay, now this is AliExpress, and so this is actually where I ordered this device from. And so, I mean, there's just it's just an online shopping. I mean, it's not just electronics. I mean, it's everything. Like, you can order everything through this channel or through this application. All right. And actually, there's the original Z5, and then here's the Z5 Pro. Oh, US sold. It's actually a couple dollars off there. So here it's $347.99 as opposed to $349.99. So you guys go ahead and see that. But yeah, in that app, if you guys want to download that application, that's what it looks like there. Just a little orange little app, AliExpress. But like I said, I mean, I'll drop the link in the description. So if you guys want to get your hands on this device, then you can go ahead and just order it and just click on the link, and it'll take you straight to it. Now, to do away with to get underway with your recents, you just simply swipe to the right, and this is going to bring you to your recents. And I like the recent setup here. Okay. It's side scrolling as opposed to up and down. Okay. And obviously, and you see how buttery smooth that is. And so if you just want to go back into any one of these, you just click back on it and it just goes right back into it. AliExpress. Let's see. Okay. Bible app. Very little or no reloading time at all. It just goes right back to it. Okay. SoundCloud. Pops right back in the SoundCloud. Okay. So it looks like we've got pretty good RAM management here. And then if you want to get rid of these things, you can just hit the X right there to do away with them all. Or you can just swipe up on them. And there it is. Okay. Now, let's go into the settings. Again, Android 8.1 Oreo, fresh out the box. Condensed list. Okay. There, ladies and gentlemen, is NFC. Oops. Oh, didn't mean to hit that. So you just swipe up from the top or from the bottom right to go back. Okay. But we do have NFC right there, so you guys can see that. Okay. Then we have passcode and fingerprints. And so this is where you would go to enter in your security information. You got passcode, show password, fingerprints, face. Okay. Smart lock and app lock. And so we'll go out of that. Okay. Then we've got UTouch. And UTouch is what I have enabled. And so this is where you would go if you want to add the navigation keys, which if I tab that, then there are the navigation keys at the bottom. But then I have UTouch. And so UTouch, again, just takes away the navigation keys. And if you choose UTouch, and then it just gives you a quick tutorial on how to utilize that. And so you got back, home, and recents right there. And it just gives you a brief tutorial on how to do that. And it's very, very simple to do. I've gotten so used to, just swiping and all that type of action on my iPhone. I mean, it's not really a big deal to do it here, on the Lenovo Z5 Pro. So that's where you control that. Okay. Wallpaper, themes, and folders. This is where all that stuff lives. And so you can go in here and you can customize a bunch of different wallpapers that they already have preloaded on the phone. Then we've got dynamic wallpapers, which you've only got 2 options there, but I believe you can download more. And then this is where your albums live, and then online wallpaper. And so, yeah, I guess you can, you can connect online and you can download a bunch of other ones. Now, if you hit that, I'm not sure what it's Enshrine. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. Daily wallpaper update. So if you turn that on, then I guess you'll get new wallpapers and it'll update you about them every day. HD desktop wallpaper, that is off. Let's see. Distinct wallpaper will be used for desktop. Okay. I'll leave that off for now. And then we've got theme default, and you can change the font size as well. All right. Now, display and brightness. Got adaptive brightness, night light, color. So if you tap on color, then you see we are able to kind of change the color tones. And so under colors, there's warm, standard, and cool. Just keep it on standard. And then you can also change the saturation. So under saturation, you got vibrant and standard. And so I keep it on standard for colors, vibrant for saturation. And but you'll see, like, if you tap on one of these, you'll see the change, how it just got more of like a yellowish tint to it. Cool, it converted to more of a bluish tint. Standard, it's just kind of in between. Okay. All right. So font size, device rotation, sleep, double tap to power on screen, light up when charging, post notification light. And so the notification light, there's a lot of you people that's really important to you. So we do have a notification light. But in order to see that light, well, actually, I'm not sure what that is. I haven't gotten a notification and seen what that does. And so I know that there's a little LED light here at the top. And so I'm not sure if that blinks or if there's something on the screen that blinks once you get a notification. All right. But that's the display. and brightness. And so, yeah, we've got display and brightness, sound and vibration, apps and notification, battery, ZUI Lab, advanced settings, system updates, about phone, and then Google. And there were 2 updates that I already got with this phone. This I've had it for like a couple of days now, so it's already gotten a couple of updates, which is a good thing. So now if we go into ZUI Lab, then this is where we have some additional settings. Then we've got some auto sensory actions, raise to wake up the screen, okay, and I have that enabled, and you guys saw that earlier in the video. We have a whole game mode, and so if you turn on game mode, then it gives you a list of all these things to toggle for gaming. So you've got performance mode, clear cache, prevent switching networks, do not disturb, use floating keyboard when playing, disable navigation bar and U-touch when playing, so that when you're playing games you don't accidentally perform a gesture and take yourself out of the game, and then disable adaptive brightness. Now, I don't game on my phone, so I just turn all that off, and when you turn that off, you see all those options that kind of go by the wayside. All right. Now, we have multiple space, position travel, message, article page switch, screen recorder, app flash launch, and picture-in-picture. Okay, so those are all the options and things that you can toggle. And then we go into advanced settings, and then this is where some of the other settings that we would typically find in that conventional list live. And so we've got language and input, date and time, security and privacy, auto power on and off, VPN, roaming service, URL, security detection, show network real-time speed. Now storage, we'll go into storage real quick. And then again, this is the 64 gig variant version of this phone. And so out of the 64 gigs, after I've downloaded all my applications, I'm utilizing 16.57 gigabytes, which is 25% used. Got a lot of gigs left, you know, to do what I need to do. Okay, so storage, accessibility, restore pre-installed apps, network settings reset, and then factory data reset. Okay, so let's swipe out of this stuff. Now let's go to the camera. All right, now let me get something here. Let's get the Z5 box, something bright. Got my iPhone XR right here, that bright product red. All right, move that back a little bit. Now, in the camera settings, you see we've got photo, we've got video, we've got panorama, and you see under video and photo, we do have that 2x optical zoom. Okay, we've got best. I'm not exactly sure what best is, and it says beta right over that, and so that's something that is being beta tested right now. We have dual, pro mode, and all. And all is just please target QR code, document, and ID card to be identified for more information. Okay, so all is where you can scroll QR codes and things like that. And so we'll just take it back to photo. Okay, and hit this little icon right there. That's just going to bring up a bunch of different filters. Okay, we got normal, Ardor, Polar, painting, fresh, and mono. Okay, and then you see we do have beauty right there as well. And to turn that off, you just hit that right there. Okay, here's that 2x optical zoom right there. So that's a nice feature to have. Here's our flash. This is our timer. This is open super night, and so this is like a night mode, which should be pretty dope. Okay, open super night. Yeah, now I'm not seeing a portrait mode or anything on here, and I know that this phone has a portrait mode to be able to create those bokeh shots. All right, now under the settings, we've got back camera photo. So we can have 4.3, 16:9, 18:9, or 1:1. All right, it's in 4.3 now. Back camera video. As you can see, we're in full HD 1080p. We can scale it down to 720p, or we can go up to UHD 4K. So we do have 4K recording on the Lenovo Z5 Pro. Okay, volume key, shutter sound, camera sound, watermark, and the watermark is already turned on by default, which is cool. Reference line, location. So that's everything that we got underneath the settings, ladies and gents. All right, now let's go ahead and snap a quick photo real quick. Dope. Nice and speedy shutter speed. Okay, it's a good looking photo there. And as you can see right there, Lenovo Z5 Pro AI, 24 megapixel plus 16 megapixel dual cameras. It's already right there for you. All right. Now, let's get out of that. And let's scale it around to the selfies. And so you see, when I'm trying to take a selfie, it says drag down the slide to enable the front-facing camera. Okay, so when you slide the phone down, then here I am. All right, so I'm gonna just take a little selfie real quick. I'm hella hot under these lights. Okay. All right. Decent sound shutter, or decently speed shutter. Okay. What's that? Okay. Those are some nice photos right there. Okay. Very crisp, detailed. Okay. And then you also see that watermark right there. See Lenovo Z5 Pro. So that's cool. All right. So definitely stay tuned, because I'm going to have a dedicated camera video that I'm going to be releasing for this device. And then following that video will be the full pristine review after some extensive real world testing here with the Lenovo Z5 Pro. All right. So that's all I got for now, ladies and gentlemen, for the Lenovo Z5 Pro. Those of you that like this video, you already know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos that I've done like this one. And definitely keep it locked at Pristine Mobile Tech, because I've got so much more content to come. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that every time I publish a video and it goes live, you'll get a notification indicating that my video went live, and you can go ahead and check it out right there on the spot, or whenever you've got a minute. Be sure to hit me up in the comments section with your questions, comments, or any feedback on anything that you may have seen. If I missed anything that you want me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments, and I'll do my absolute best to accommodate you guys with the information that you want in future videos. All right? So again, thank you guys for stopping by and doing this unboxing with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And you guys already know, man, keep it safe in 2018. Get spiritually fit, because we are definitely living in the last days. And keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. This is the Lenovo Z5 Pro. I'm your man, Pristine, bringing you the content. We out. Until the next episode. Yeah.